All right, from here, we're shifting gears to what played out on the Abuja-Kaduna rail line, if you will. That's what you're seeing on your screen. What exactly happened? This corridor has been bedeviled by one thing or the other, and this looks pretty serious. The persons in charge will be here to respond to the questions. Join us in just a moment. Mr. Kayode Okpaifa joins us. He's the MD of the Nigeria Railway Corporation. He's been MD for 7 months now, 6-7 months, and he's had to grapple with a lot of issues. You're welcome to the program, Comrade Okpaifa.
Yeah, good morning.
Well, this is really not the kind of news you want to get as MD of the NRC. I mean, you have a lot on your table already, but we're here right now. And earlier on, we had on our program one of the newspaper guests who had a lot to say about the Nigeria Railway Corporation, from the service provided in the trains to the state of the coaches and all of that. But let's speak to this incident. Thankfully, there were no fatalities. I think 6 people were wounded, and I imagine they're receiving treatment. And I know that investigation is on to determine what the real cause is. But you were there up until night yesterday. Tell us what you got from that incident and what kind of information you're getting as it unfolds.
Yeah, good morning, Kayode and Co. Let me say, beyond apologizing to Nigeria, I want to say as the Managing Director and Chief Executive, I take full responsibility. And in the case of safety, there is no indifference. Once it happens, the Chief Executive must take responsibility. In this case, I am taking responsibility. And I want to assure Nigerians that incidents like this is not expected, is not prayed for, should not be happening, but where it does is to bring out the best in us. And I assure Nigerians that just like we have done, we are doing currently on the Warri Itape, which he also mentioned. We shut down the Warri Itape 3 weeks ago. I have had a shutdown for safety reasons. And if you see the level of work the men have been doing on the track, cutting it off and replacing, it is to make sure things like this don't happen. However, on this particular incident, when you have incident like this is a very serious one. It's not just a derailment. This is a derailment with capsizing. So it's double. We have some of the coaches derailed, and some of them actually capsized. The locomotive capsized. Derailment is when one of the wheels or the rest just pull up. We can easily pull that back using the crane, and the train will continue moving. But this one happens to be like this one is actually a much complex thing. What we also observe is that it happened at near a point. A point is where trains can change their direction of movement, especially when you have this kind of system where you have only one track, and you approach a train station and another train is coming. You want to change to either where you drop people, pick people, or allow for the other train to move. And it's a point that normally is must be closely watched to prevent incidents like this. So that area is a point of concern for investigation. Now, when this thing happened, immediately the rest is history, is a story, because we deployed the rescue, emergency and rescue protocol, and all the necessary agencies were there. The security was forced to be deployed, and immediately after that was the evacuation. And a rescue train was dispatched from Abuja to the border of Abuja and Kaduna, which is Asham. Luckily for us too, we thank God, the area is also an occupied neighborhood. On the top of those things you are seeing on the screen, in fact, also there is a police station close by, and they also dispatched there. The governor of Kaduna State also sent in his own team, the Ministry of Health Federal, Abuja Mandate Secretariat, and the Abuja Transport and the Health Services Secretariat also deployed their personnel. So also NEMA was there. The GOC, Mechanized Division, was also there, Kaduna, and that to show how seriously it was addressed. Coming to the fatality and the casualties, there was no fatality. We thank God. That was a near miss. Because of this kind of accident or incident, you see some level of fatality. But we thank God for this. And for those that were injured, 4 look serious. 4 are serious. And another 2 also were discharged immediately. And we will follow up on those that might still be in the hospital. I don't know as at this moment. We'll follow up. And so also we'll follow up with the remaining 618 people on the train because of post-traumatic experience. We have their phone contacts and we'll do that. On the investigation, in recent time, the NSIB was created and they had to assume responsibility for the national investigation of all train, water transport and air transport accidents. And they were contacted immediately and they dispatched people there. They started our own investigating team. Were also they have just read their report now. The preliminary report is for our consumption at this moment. The Ministry of Transportation, the Federal Honorable Minister also informed he will be putting up an investigating team. So I want to assure Nigeria nothing will be slept under the carpet. You know why? These kind of situations gives us the best opportunity to do the right thing. My responsibility at NRC is to take it to global standard, and that is what I'm preoccupied with. There are so many things going on the ground. It's just unfortunate this happened. We will investigate whatever caused it. Is it human? Is it track? Is it electromechanical? Is it weather? It could be any other thing we will investigate. And we thank God it's going to be an independent investigation by the National Safety Investigation Bureau. So unlike in the past, that NRC have to do this investigation, this time around we have an organization on ground by law to conduct the full technical investigation while we provide them with some the vital information.
So, Mr. President, is there, from your preliminary findings or that has been reported to you so far, is there any suspicion around sabotage?
It would be premature for me to speak on that because that would be undermining the authority that is meant to do the investigation. But I want to assure Nigerians that our tracks are safe from vandals and terrorists. This particular track is being monitored by the military. You can see immediately it happened within 5-10 minutes. The helicopter was there, hovering at the Nigerian Air Force. The Nigerian Army are all along this corridor. And I think for the records, we've not had any issue of banditry, terrorism attack along that corridor. But you can't wish anything away. The investigation will tell us what happened. And I wouldn't want to comment because I'm a party to the investigation. I also will have to go there and give my own side of the story. So I know very, very soon, even though the MD said within 30 days they have to give a preliminary report. That's what their protocol and procedures demands. I think as things goes on, the NSIB will speak to Nigerians on preliminary findings. We will provide them all information that we have, and it is there. We have to follow the protocol, at least for the first time, if not only the one that happened in Lagos. I believe the same thing was done. But this time around, with my presence there and the MD, we vowed this 3 weeks ago at the stakeholder forum. No incident, no accident on a transport sector mode will go uninvestigated. The era of brake failure, this failure is gone. We have to get to the bottom of the matter. While not apportioning blames, we have to apportion responsibility. And where we find any lapse, we have to fix it. Where we think there is need to take tough measures, we'll take tough measures. I want to assure Nigerians.
Okay, just to re-emphasize, I know you had mentioned it in passing, but just to re-emphasize, how bad is the state of the derailment? We're seeing it on TV, we're seeing it on screen, but you know, you've been on ground, so you have a better view.
Yeah, this one is a serious one. You see, the track is a single lane track, but it has a siding because it's just an approach. You will see the Asham station just ahead of you is about 100 to 200 meters to the Asham station. So there is always a side track for shunting. That is that you can see from the film now how the thing crosses. So on the main track, the track and the sleepers. The sleepers are those concrete stuff. You see they were heavily damaged. Some of the lines went right, some went left. Some of the coaches went right, one or two coaches went left, and the locomotive went on its side. And this is a serious one. But we during the last blast, that I think that was 2020 or so, we had similar damage to the track like this. This is not the first time we are seeing damages to the track, and but this is a serious one. And I can assure Nigerians that the capacity to fix this within the shortest possible time exists, both in our technical partner and the Nigerian Railway Commission Corps of Engineers. And during the blast, the Nigerian Railway engineers fixed the track back to what it is. However, we also need to know that this track was constructed 10 years ago. Just before this incident, we are just at about doing the complete safety audit of the track. Unfortunately, this happened before that safety audit. So that safety audit will also have given point if we have any area of interest. But that notwithstanding, we are waiting the outcome to know what factors are responsible. Is it electromechanical? Is it human? Is it track? Is it weather? Is it something else? And all that. So there are so many things that could be wrong. And but when things like this happen, is to bring out the best in you. And I can assure Nigerians, this will not only bring out the best in us, it will bring out from us a global standard.
We certainly hope so. We have to also speak to, I mean, some of the figures that we've seen. I think within the space of a year or two, about 50,000 clips were said to have been taken from that corridor alone, and not to talk of the Lagos-Ibadan or the Warri-Takpe corridor. Clips alone, 50,000 from each of them in between 2022 and 2023, according to what we hear. But we also understand that there are billions of naira budgeted for protecting that corridor. So when you speak to protection, just how protected is this corridor, and who is protecting the corridor against either vandals or likely terrorists, people who want to attack that rail line? What sort of protection do you mean? I want us to speak to that, then we'll speak to the services and what to expect from the NRC.
In terms of protection, you have a military protection team headed by a senior military officer. You have the Nigerian Army, you have the Nigerian Air Force, you have the Civil Defense, you have the Nigerian Police. Then you have the people we call Ganga. And then you have vigilantes, community security people, and there was these community security people were among those who immediately moved to the incident site as it happened. Then all these work together, and whenever we have or suspect any issue, the Air Force quickly deploys area surveillance. Whenever we have a ground suspicion, the Army are permanently there. You can't see them, they're there. Within minutes, they're out. And so I want to say that among our corridors, this corridor, since that incident happened, we have learned our lessons, and it's been protected. The vigilant, if I tell you the number of security services on that route, you wonder if it's a security issue. They're there all over. They're there all over. I sign the bills on a monthly basis. I know what it takes, but that is what government has to do, and that is what government is doing to make sure that line is protected. That line is properly secured. Don't let me go into more security. You can see immediately it happened. The aircraft was moving around it. Another one was done just 3 weeks ago. These are things that goes on that corridor. Now, on the issue of vandalism, now it is not only here. South Africa, Transport for London, we travel around, we exchange ideas. Recently, I was in South Africa, even where they have electric. People still go and cut the cables, still cut signal cables. Yeah, we have vandals removing our materials. more on the narrow gauges, especially on the Eastern Corridor and the North Central Corridor. That is the corridor that links the Eastern Line and the Western Line. On the Western Line, there are many of such too, especially on the northern side. The Southwest Nigeria looks much more better, but all these are because the train is not running. If the train runs very well, this will reduce. It will reduce. It will completely stop. Yeah, maybe technology, maybe human beings, but all over the world, I tell you, is a combination of both technology and human beings. They call them ganga. For every meters on the track, we have people from the community who patrol and move. In this particular case, the track was certified okay in the morning. 2 trains had passed that particular point without issue. And in fact, it was the one that passed last was the one that was used for the rescue. So, but however, when you get to a point, they call it a point, where you have sharp edges where trains turn around, it is prone to incidents and you need to put a special care. But we'll continue to do everything we need to do. And let me use this opportunity to say that our tracks are being highly vandalized, highly abused by people who have taken it as a job. They call it scrap. It is not scrap. They are national assets. And if this case happens to be one of such, you can say the consequence. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that, especially on the Warri Itakwe, we get clips being removed on a regular basis. And when they happen, before the train runs the next day, we replace these clips. And a lot of them are on the social media. You will notice that whenever they report it happens, we come back and say fixed. Right. So our responsibility is that whenever they vandalize our track, we get it fixed. That's number one. Also, we have to protect it, and we use locals to do that, and they are doing their best. Yeah, there are also technology on the track. We don't need to start telling people what has been put on it, but my responsibility coming to this place is to put it in the best of shape to meet best practices and global standards. And that is what I have been promising Nigerians, and I'm promising everybody that uses this train that very soon we will have less of these issues, if not eradicating them.
Well, Mr. Papa, you're not new.
I've not had any sleep.
Right. I mean, you're not new to the transport sector. You've done this for decades in Lagos, at the federal level, and now at the NRC. And yes, it's good to hear that you've taken responsibility. You apologize. Although Mr. Akere said you should resign. But let's speak to some of the other points that he made. One, he talked about now the service, the state of the coaches. He talked about the bathrooms, and a lot of people have experienced this as well. Bathrooms are just closed, a lot of them dirty. I mean, for that kind of service, you expect some sort of premium service, even for the first class, the in quote first class. That's one. He talked about the dilapidation of coaches, and a lot of people agree. I've seen it as well. In fact, he referenced that some of those trains may have been disused. Then they were brought here, they were refurbished, and that's what we're using as a country. So I want you to speak to that. We need to have the very best service on our trains, at least, so that it will be a standard for Africa and even globally. So what is wrong? Why are we dropping the ball, Mr. Okwefa?
Yeah, thank you very much. I am not sure Nigerian government will buy refurbished train or refurbished engine or coaches. I believe strongly that these coaches were bought new. But, you know, we are all free to our opinion. It is not also impossible that some lines are using older coaches or engines than the other. We have two types. We have the DMU, depot multiple units, which looks more beautiful. Then you have the locomotive driving the coaches, which is what we have on the Warri Itakwe. And people have attributed that they want the best. They want the one in Kaduna. Kaduna has the best of coaches in terms of age, and that's where you have these incidents. But I am also aware that there are issues on our trains. Toilets not working, one problem or the other. And in the last 7 months, I have used this train on a regular basis, and I've fixed, like when someone wrote about toilets not working on Abuja-Kaduna, immediately I said that can't be true, because I know, yes, some are not working because they are using pneumatic and the spare power are not available. Immediately we turn them to manual. And on this particular line, Abuja-Kaduna, out of a complete movement, we'll have about 20 to 22 toilets. There is nothing less than 16 working. Now, the cleaners are Nigerians, and I've had to do away with 3 companies, the 3 cleaning companies, with all sort of pressure not to do it. We have had to replace them since I came, and we're still going to do away with so many of them. We can't give Nigerians anything less than what they are paid for or what they deserve. So I agree that it's a work in progress, but it has improved tremendously. In fact, record shows that, comment shows that it has improved from what it was back then. In the next few days, unfortunately this happened, you will have started seeing some of the physical things we intend to put on the train. We are copying what is going on in the aviation sector. That's what we want to mimic. We are not looking at what goes on just only in best practice. We're also looking what goes on here in Nigeria. We want a situation where staff will be well identified. On the issue of the VIP coaches, yes, there are a lot of intrusions into them by our staff, by people selling. It is just the way we have managed it, and that has stopped. I can tell you it has stopped since I came. We have made some new protocols. We have written new standard operating procedures. You see, where there are no laws or something, things could happen. But since I came, I've started getting everybody to understand there must be standard operating procedures. There must be minimum standard. There must be reporting standard.
Right.
And that's one of the things we gained from this experience, that the incidents were reported promptly. The protocol for evacuation and recovery was ignited very promptly. So whatever are the lapses, they are work in the progress. I don't expect it will have lasted this month, but don't forget, it also comes with funding. If you have people say we made so much money, yes, we make a lot of money from tickets, which is electronic, but is this amount of money adequate to give us the best? All over the world, passenger rail is being supported by government, and that is what we're doing also. So the money we make from ticketing and the rest does not really cover, but government had always been providing the support.
All right, Mr. Okwefa, we have to anchor at this point, but I must squeeze this in 10 seconds, right? There's concerns around ticket racketeering. I know you're planning to incorporate the Lagos, perhaps the Lamata payment service into what you have now at the NRC. So we just want you to deal with the racketeering, not necessarily speak to it. But when is this route going to reopen? Because we know it's been closed. You've announced
which route?
The Abuja-Kaduna route. We understand that some part of it has been closed. When will it be reopened for use?
Ticket racketeering on Abuja-Kaduna.
No, that's not the question. Pardon me. I'm saying we want you to deal with that, not speak to it on the program.
Okay, I will deal with it.
Yes.
Just to tell you that it has gone down.
Okay, the question is about reopening the Abuja-Kaduna route, because there were reports that it's been closed for now. When will it be reopened for passengers? That particular route?
The first thing that will happen is the NSIB will determine when the site is open for reconstruction.
All right.
So from the time they tell us that it's ready for reconstruction, I don't see us spending more than 30 days. So it depends on when they declare the site open for reconstruction. That is to fix. But when we fix this time around, we may not open immediately. We may have to do a complete safety audit, because it's part of a global standard. When you have this kind of situation, regardless of what the outcome is, you still conduct a complete safety audit.
Mr. Okwefa,
I have a tampering machine to do that, and we'll do that.
We have to thank you so much. Quite a lot of work you have on your hands, and we wish you the very best. We're here to support you as much as we can. We've been speaking with the MD CEO of the NRC, Mr. Okwefa, on the program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.